Coming at you from Scratchable Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Porter. Sitting across from me, our very own Gilligan, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
I don't know why I paused. And as usual, coming in from the far reaches of the South, he's both the Professor and Marianne, Mr. CJ.
Howdy, y'all.
And to round out the cast, as usual, we have Mr. and Mrs. Howell. It's them, everybody.
Hey.
I don't know why.
One hey is for Mr., one hey is for Mrs.
She's got good news and bad news.
Hey-o.
And she has to go to the bank today.
All right.
I want to know, like, the demographic of how many people actually got this reference.
I also want to see the Venn diagram of the people who got the Community and the Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in that, but, like, barely. It took me an extra second to, like, oh, wait.
So this is Rage Across the Internet.
Hey.
Believe it or not, a show about Werewolf the Apocalypse. Talking about all aspects from both the storyteller and player standpoint. That's information you need if that's your first episode, in which case, hey, welcome. And it's probably a pretty good one for you today as well.
Yeah. Back to the 101 series.
It is, in fact, once again, time for our 101 series. But not quite yet.
Nope. Not yet.
What a weird opening.
Well, we got some business.
They chose to Gilligan's Island at us.
And Community, it's fine.
First, I do want to say that, hey, before we get into this week in bullshit, I want to say, yeah, a little business is, hey, it's, thank you all for your continued support on the store. Things are going very nicely.
Yeah, wow.
We've been seeing some pictures, and we'll be posting a few.
Oh, yeah.
Today. You know, some of the products coming in, everyone seems really happy with what's happening. And that's really exciting.
Yes,
people are just so psyched to get their stuff in the mail and share the pictures in our Discord.
Oh, yeah. We've seen some coffee mugs. We've seen some of the journals. We've seen a lot of the shirts. Oh, fucking love it.
I've seen more mugs than shirts, but those mugs are excellent.
Oh, yeah. It's the larger mug, which holds more coffee.
Drinking out of mine right now.
See?
Even better. Allegedly gives you superpowers.
You keep saying that. I prefer something more substantial. Again, like it prevents dinosaur attacks.
Huh? I mean, both can be true.
Yeah, except someone's going to get shot holding an RAI mug and we're going to get sued.
I didn't say which superpower it was.
I don't think so.
You can't
That's why I say it gives you an extra die of soak.
Okay. Both, again.
You take that up with your storyteller. RAI, fucking Porter does not endorse these statements. These are the
Porter doesn't want you to have an extra die.
These are the opinions of Daniel Tyson and Cedric James.
Cedric.
You did have
Does that make?
you did have influence on somebody getting a glory for a shirt.
That's true.
Yes.
Depending on who your storyteller is, you might get a renown buff for buying RAI merch. You're welcome, Phil.
Yes.
Shout out to the filibuster.
I was going to say, if that's Cedric James, does that make her Emily May?
M and only M. Nothing more,
Yeah,
nothing less.
but what about the other letter?
You let me worry about the names here, Mr. Tyson.
Fair.
I mean,
I tried. It was such a bad fail.
I'll start using everyone's real names, and we're all screwed.
Daniel Tyson.
Joke's on you. Mine is M.
Yes. Right. Just one letter.
It's Eustace Montgomery.
About
Okay?
this.
Just
Montgomery.
Estelle Manchurian. Fucking, it's whatever's in my heart, okay?
Okay.
I handle the naming around here. Ricochet.
Ricochet. Yes. But yes, back to, we're saying the store is open and fucking awesome. Love to see it.
No, it's, thank you all so much for your support. And, to remind you, the store is still there. Right now, everything's still in stock.
Mm-hmm. The coffee mugs are going quick.
We've sold a good amount of them.
Yeah. I remember last time when we first opened the store, it was a big deal, and the mugs were out almost immediately.
And here's the thing, though. That's not even like a brag. It's not like we sold so many. It's sold. No, like by coincidence, I think we sold 2 of them, and then the vendor ran out of stock.
Yes.
It was really embarrassing.
It was kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, it was like, what are we going to do? Because people wanted the mugs.
Well, I scrambled and found the replacement, but only barely. I mean, that was years ago. This is a different vendor than those, even.
Yes, so...
Because that vendor has not had those mugs in stock in like a year and a half.
Oh, jeez. So even now...
Yeah, this is a new vendor from... Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so...
It's hard to find 15-ounce mugs in black.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was important to me. First of all, the 15-ounce, right? Because I think, Em, you brought up the other day that like your 2 cups is now 1. Right? Did I make that up?
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't make it up. I can now brew 2 of the small cups of coffee in this instead of having to,
Yeah, see, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like for me, like my Keurig, I can brew the biggest one that makes.
Extra large.
Yeah, and not worry about it. And then...
And have a little bit of room left over.
Exactly. And then the black was important, not only because it looks good with the logo, but the inside needs to be black. So you don't get those unsightly coffee stains for years of use.
Yep.
I mean, they might still be there, but you can't see them. There's nothing worse than grabbing that coffee cup, right? The one you've had for years, and it's like all stained inside, and it's like, oh, I know it's clean, but it looks gross.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
It is to me. Why I insisted.
That happened with one of my other mugs a while back, but then I just got a new sponge.
Gross. Why'd you use a sponge?
I mean, there are levels. Like, if something gets stained in there.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things that, like, you go to grab a mug for whatever reason, and you're like, yeah, I cleaned this just the other day, and then you look in and you see all those stains, and it doesn't look clean.
It is. But, it's from you having the half cup of coffee sitting there for 4 hours several times over the course of the decade you've owned the mug.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun because I can't tell the difference between my cup of, my coffee and the bottom of the mug.
That's really stained.
So there you go.
No, I'm talking about the RAI mug.
Because of the...
Okay.
No, it's so black that I can't tell the difference between my coffee and the bottom of the mug because I drink my coffie black.
Well, it's like
I got it.
You got to be where the Night Master's going to come out of there. It's like the abyss.
A hand is going to come up, grab me.
I'm not saying that it will or won't happen, but it's a possibility, maybe. So make sure to buy your RAI merch.
Oh, wow.
Or the Night Master will get you. That's the point of this.
Yep. Okay. Weird.
So,
creepy.
Which is fitting because, hey, we're still in our Halloween celebration.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a nice segue for This Week in Bullshit.
Let's do it then. I had another thing, but we don't need to do it right now. It's fine.
Do it later?
We'll do it later. So This Week in Bullshit. No, This Week in Bullshit. Danny, how about you start us off because we are continuing your Halloween journey. Catch everybody up. If it's your first show, talk about the Halloween journey.
Oh, man. My scary movie journey. I don't like scary movies. I am very easily startled.
We're fixing him.
What movie did you watch this week?
This week, or a few days ago, whatever, was Sinister.
Starring Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke, he's such a badass, too, and he's awesome in this movie. He's so good in this movie. But what got me the most was... Now, again, we'll say it back, because I said I like the psychological thriller. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that at all. It's good. It's fun to watch. Yes, it creeps me out. But... What really got me was right before I watched the movie, I get a text from Porter telling me, you should tell your wife to record you so I can see your reactions. And And I'm thinking like, oh, great. Now I know something bad is going to happen.
Oh, I was going to make this a bonus for our fucking backers if she agreed to do it.
But here's the thing. She didn't know what was going to happen either. She's never seen this. So how would she know what to record and what not to?
Just you watching the movies enough.
Yeah, well, she wasn't just going to have her phone recording me for 2 hours or whatever it was.
She should have.
She probably should have. Oh, boy. Yeah, there was... oh, it was a good movie, but there was a part in the movie where I had to pause the movie and catch my breath and just pace for like 10 minutes.
You got too scared.
I got too
Your
scared.
wife let you pause the movie and
Yep.
pace.
Yep.
What a nice lady.
She
I would
is.
not have let you. I would have held you down and taped your eyes open.
Well, because there's...
Full Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Well, there's the other side of that where, yes, she was nice enough to do it, but then she got a good laugh out of it and you had to humiliate me, and luckily no one else was there, which, hey, now I'm sharing this with all of you.
If it weren't for the fact I already mentioned it earlier,
Yep.
before we started recording, I would totally read the text messages.
Oh, you can. That's fine. It's worth it. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm in CG. Okay.
Yep. Again, I had to pause the movie, catch my breath, and then I texted Porter.
So I hate you right now. And then a picture of him with his heart monitor on his watch
Yep.
at 101 miles per hour. And he says, that's taken about 10 minutes to calm down. My response, straight up, best part of my entire day right there.
Yeah. So it was because my resting heart rate's in the 80s. I mean, it should be. That's normal. That's an average person. It's normal. And it got up to pretty high. Again, I had to relax and calm down for a few minutes, and then I took the picture.
Fucking ghost children around the house.
Don't worry, Daddy.
I nearly
You
fell out of
this
my bed
again.
from the sitting position. Yup. I ain't sleeping at all tonight.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was so happy.
You know, and if you didn't text me before and saying, tell your wife to record you, I wouldn't even expect any of it. Which probably would have made it worse.
I don't know. It didn't help, though.
No, probably not.
I got to imagine that sleepwalking scene. I have to imagine you peed a little.
I didn't pee a little.
Was it a lot?
I had to stop what I was doing. I went outside with the dog, and that was my problem because it's now dark outside, and
I was going to say,
like,
that sounds like a mistake.
I was like, come on, dog, let's go, dog, hurry up, do your thing, dog, let's go, come on, let's go.
Maybe that's where all the dog hair is from. You know, just having like stuff your face in the side of the dog so you don't see the TV. Like stuffed animal.
That was a scary movie. That was great, thanks.
We lost contact with them.
Yeah.
Don't mute that.
Yeah, don't mute that. Yeah, it was funny.
I didn't. It just... it evolves into a silent one.
Oh, yeah, there were some... It was the jump scares that got me. It was the jump scares. Again, being a psychological thriller, it was such a good movie, though, and I kind of predicted at least some of the end, but, like, Ethan Hawke, great performance by that. But, yeah, the jump scares are like, oh, fuck off.
I love it. I love Danny's Halloween journey. I love that we're following it, that we're tracking it. And the audience loves it, too, allegedly.
Allegedly.
If they don't, I'm not going to tell you.
Yep.
Great.
Do you
We
know
love it, and that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what's next?
I don't. She hasn't picked it yet. So I get to pick a week, and she gets to pick a week. And by I get to pick a week, I mean Porter tells me what I'm picking. Which is why the whole I hate you right now.
Yep. He's got 3 left on my list.
Mhm.
One I went easy on him with.
Okay.
Was Babadook. Or did you...
No.
No? That's
I mean,
left
that's just... Huh?
Well, that's left on the list.
Yeah, that's left on the list, yeah.
Okay.
Babadook's just cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah. No, of what's left, one of them is going easy on you.
Okay.
One of them, I think, is really underrated as shit, but I really enjoy.
Okay.
And one, and I'm just kind of being mean.
Better
That
or
was
worse?
that one. If I'm remembering, if you told me what the title was last time, that's one of my favorites.
I know we talked about it.
Yes,
Great.
it's so good.
Is this better or worse than Sinister?
Better.
Like, better because there's more jump scares? There's more opportunity for me to pee my pants? What?
Well,
More opportunities for you to piss your.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Well, jump scares aren't scary. Like, I don't
Yeah,
choose a
jump
movie
scares
based
are
on jump
nothing.
scares. Yeah, because that's just startling. That's not scary. I want something. If you're going to do scary, you
it's
want to leave an
cheating.
impression.
That left an impression? They fucking left an impression.
They're like, boo, isn't an impression. That's just, oh, you got me.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like the jump scares were part of that impression though, because of who yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie. I mean, yeah, it's older, but it's not.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
though.
Daddy. I'll make you famous again.
Wow, that was really close, by the way.
Well done.
Oh, yeah, I got some shivers there.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So you both have seen this too. Okay, good. All right, well.
It's not an
Of
obscure
course,
flick.
I'm a horror fan.
Up top, Em.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know this, Danny. I love horror movies.
No, man, I knew that. I just didn't know you'd seen that one or not.
No, I've seen a lot of them. I can't.
She has seen Call Girl of Cthulhu multiple times.
Oh man, that shit's so good.
Right?
That one's funny.
That was a backer
Though,
night.
That was a bad
yeah,
night, yep.
though it was, and I have showed it to various friends since then because I loved it
I knew
so
that.
much.
That's one of the best ones we've done.
I am interested in a genre that Porter hates, though.
What's that?
Disney
I
movies?
do like. No, the like found footage films.
I don't hate them.
I think they're so funny and so fun to watch.
Well, that's what was good about Sinister, because it wasn't a found footage movie. It was
No, not at all.
about found footage.
I mean, it had that element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a sort of love-hate relationship with found footage movies. It's one of the times of like, there's sometimes those movies that are, they're really well shot. You can sense the panic from the person the entire time. You can get everything, but everything is clear. And then you've got the few times like it's not even a horror movie, but like the first Cloverfield movie, there are some points where you get like motion sick from what they're doing with the fucking camera. You gotta hit that like nice medium.
Yeah, that's fair. In my household, we have a streaming service that is just only found footage movies.
See, my thing with found footage, right, is like you bring up Cloverfield. I think that's a great example of a found footage film because it brings you.
Mm-hmm.
It was so well done, and
You're up close and
Yeah,
personal.
that one's that one has a lot of money
Oh, yeah.
put into it, kind
Oh,
of found footage film.
certainly. But
Yeah.
and I'm not saying the indie ones can't be good, but there are so many that are just so cheap and lazy, and that's a problem. There, I mean, there are good ones too.
Those are fun in their own way, though.
They can be, but it depends, and it depends so hard
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
there's
That's
the
fair.
difference between. I mean, there's just so much nuance.
I watched one the other day that I was just so incredibly confused about. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what is happening? Why did you just stab them? I don't get it. But it was still fun because I'm sitting there questioning what the heck is going on.
And that can be a blast, certainly.
So yeah, there's a continuance of my Halloween journey of scary movies.
We'll be back with your Halloween journey as we continue on.
All right.
Jesus.
Well,
fucking time of hers.
We'll let you know what the next movie is, I guess. I don't know what it is yet. She hasn't picked.
I got a little something. As of the recording, this past week, this Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Which is also my mother's birthday.
Nice.
Not Friday the 13th specifically. It just happened to be a Friday.
That's kind of awesome, but I get it.
Yeah. So, I give her a call because, my mother and I, we're pals.
Yeah.
We get along. Not like in a weird Norman Bates way, but, we have the same taste in movies. We have the same sense of, what I mean? So, we can just bullshit. It's a good time. Mm-hmm. Well, you've met her, Danny.
Of course.
Yeah. It was weird because he kept trying to address her formally, and she's like, "It's not my name." He's like, "Well, you could." I'm like, "No, but this is my name. Just call me by my name."
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do it.
It's like, "Hi, Miss Porter." She goes, "That's not me." Like, no, it is.
It's like, "No, it's not."
Stop saying that.
Then she looks at me. She's like, "What the fuck's this problem?" Like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure those exact words happened. Yes.
Right.
What the fuck's this problem? Like, I'm standing right here.
Like it's fun when people see her and I interact. For the first time, her current husband watched us interact, he freaked out.
Oh yeah,
because he's an old Southern boy. And he's sitting there, right? Like he goes down into their basement, and we're down there drinking, smoking cigarettes. Arguing about a show or whatever. And it's like, how are you this fucking stupid? You think this? You talk to your son that way? He just called me a stupid asshole.
Has a heart attack.
Right? Probably. He couldn't. It's like, this is just how we interact, dude.
Yeah.
We're pals. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's the pals thing. It's
No. Yeah, there's not a hierarchy there. We're just friends. But... but it was her birthday, right? And so, I picked up a little something, sent a little something off her Amazon wish list, which is a nice thing,
sure.
Right? And, we set shit up there and you'll just forget about it. So she still, she doesn't know. So, what she ordered, or what she wanted was a little set of binoculars.
She's
a pervert.
Who's she peeping on?
I was trying to be nice and go bird watching.
No, this is my mother's a pervert story. No,
Mommy Porter.
No, she lives. I'm not giving it's not 123 Help Street, but she lives in the mountains. Right? They have like a hummingbird feeder. They have a garden up in front. There is wildlife that comes to that house on the regular.
I can imagine, yeah.
Like deer and hummingbird, like all sorts of rare birds and bears and shit. It's normal.
Okay.
So she don't need no fucking binoculars to see birds. However, the neighbors...
Oh my God!
would be the suburban equivalent to 3 houses away in each direction. Maybe 2.
Wow.
Across the street, you definitely need, because they got a long-ass driveway. There's tree cover. So the only reason you need these fucking binoculars...
See what your neighbors are doing.
Yup.
Oh
my mother's a pervert. I called her on it, too.
And how'd she react?
She sends the text. She's like, "Oh, hey, the present got here. I didn't... Oh, thank you." She wasn't expecting anything. And I'm like, I guess I'm feeding her perversion. And she's like, "They're for bird watching, asshole." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I hope the neighbor's bird is big enough for you, you creep." She sent the laughing emoji. "You're such an asshole." That's good.
That might be a wraparound.
I thought M was going to win it this time, personally.
Well, we'll see what she's got.
Oh,
What do you mean? What do you mean you'll see what I got? You ain't seeing nothing.
Oh.
You're right, not yet. I don't get the binoculars yet.
Heyo.
Heyo.
That's a new tier y'all can't afford.
Neither can I.
Yeah, right?
Oh, wow. Your mom's a pervert.
Yep. And none of you can say that, you people listening.
Nope.
I don't want to show up on Discord and be talking about my mother. I can do that.
Yeah. I was just repeating what you said.
But I'm just going to lay that down there.
Okay, I'll take it out.
It's an open season. I'm fucking... I'm not even saying her name on purpose.
It's Miss Porter.
It's not, though.
Yeah, it's not even that.
As she would say, take the dick out of her ear and listen.
Yeah, she said that to me a few times. It's always funny when she does.
It's going to be you someday, huh?
Probably. Well,
Well, my mother's like 5 foot nothing, and I think you are too, right? Like,
I
you're
am
short.
actually, yeah, I am 5 foot nothing.
See, and that's already where I make the correlation. Like, that's just your future.
Yeah, I'm. Well, the thing is, the reason I make those noises, I'm not planning on having kids, so probably not, unless it's like my little nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I don't think kids are necessary for the sass.
Yeah.
I don't
Or the
want
perversion,
any of those,
I guess.
though. I don't want any of those, though.
That's fair.
I can barely take care of myself. You think I want to take care of another human?
Fucking amen. So, CJ, you got anything for us for this week in bullshit?
I made some bread today.
Did you?
Yes, I am currently eating a slice, and it is delicious. It contains wheat. It contains bread flour, water, salt, and yeast.
Bread flowers? What kind of flowers are those?
Bread flour.
See, I wasn't going to make that. I think she said bread specifically,
I
so
know.
we didn't make that joke.
Yep.
So do those need a lot of sunlight to grow?
He's doing it anyway. It's like a monkey trying to fuck a football.
All right. So, all plants do require sunlight in order to grow because they have something called a chloroplast. This chloroplast takes light energy
This is your
and
fault.
it makes it into sugar that the plant can use to grow. Now, as this wheat grows, it's cultivated, and then it's ground up into flour. He asked, so he received. I tried to keep that really surface level. I think I succeeded.
Rage across the bread making.
Rage across the bread maker.
That's called. So we just have her reading off the phone book at this point.
You just got to do the voice. Tell me more about this bread. Just use the voice.
Go back to...
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yes, we do.
Where did we?
Yes, we do. We know what it is.
So the bread is really tasty.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's good.
I like a good, homemade bread.
Do you like fresh baked
Yeah, I
bread?
don't even
I
need
do.
butter for it. It's so good.
For
Nice and moist.
Yeah, see, I've made a good. I've made beer bread before. It's pretty fun. It was a while ago, and I had a bread maker, so I didn't do it by hand.
How is the wife?
No.
I had to.
We also have a bread maker, but I don't like using it.
Why don't you like using it?
Is it cheating?
Yeah, it feels like cheating to me.
See, I can respect that. I'll just go buy my bread. Like, I'll double cheat. So, but I can respect the position, you know?
That may as well just be called a pastry, let's be honest.
But it's in a loaf. Pastries aren't in loaves.
Yeah, but
Hey, it
yeah,
can be.
Yeah, they can be.
You're right, because they're
The
loaves.
sugar content is what I'm concerned about.
Oh, no, I don't put sugar on my bread.
The bread has a lot of sugar in it, though, if you read the ingredients.
Why would I do that?
Yeah, it's a dumb idea. That's a waste of time.
I don't read the ingredients.
No, I read the ingredients
Just-
on everything I pick up.
Just eat things that taste good.
Mhm.
Like, they don't even have to be food. Like, who am I to judge?
I even read the ingredients on like a can of black beans and or the salmon I buy. Like the other day, I didn't buy a certain type of salmon because it had a dye in it rather than nothing at all. When I look at the ingredients on like salmon, I want it to just say salmon. No salmon plus dye.
Well, I would think that the salmon's dead.
Ha 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 ha. You know what I mean.
So that's This Week in Bullshit. There we go. So it's time to get to the show proper.
Mm-hmm.
And as promised, we are continuing our Garou 101 series. And if that's news to you, we'll go back a couple weeks and listen. There's a couple weeks.
There's a couple weeks for us. There's a few for them.
It's still... Look at semantics,
a couple
man.
weeks for them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Christ.
Semantics, Danny.
Right?
Just semantics.
Ugh.
It's with the 101 with...
Enough, Gilligan.
with the brand new players in mind.
Exactly. The strictly back of the box, nice and simple.
Getting you into the game.
Yep, level 1 beginner shit.
Yep. Trying to get you as interested and fall in love with this game like we did.
Or a nice refresher if you need it.
Even more
Yes.
so.
Or want it.
We all want it.
God damn it, this goddamn guy.
The semantics. It's just
Guy.
semantics.
So the first and last time we did this, we did just the Garou and who they were. Werewolves and where they came from and the tribes. That was the start. Today we have what?
We have a show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we're going to talk Triat.
Mm-hmm.
And what the hell that means.
And Auspices, right? Or just try it.
No, we'll be heading to that, but first things first, right?
Yep.
So, CJ, back of the box, what's the Triat?
The Triad, as back of the box as I can get, it is the 3 primordial forces of creation for Werewolf. Things responsible for everything.
In those 3 forces being, of course, the Wild, the Weaver, and the Worm.
Force of creation, order, and destruction.
That's correct. And, you know what? I think we're going to start it on the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So the Wild...
Real fast. I know the poem from the Silver Record. Can I say it?
Sure.
I mean, it's about the Triat.
Go for it.
But yeah, the flowers opened before the dawn, petals spread in silent song. One becomes the green, one turns the green to a tree, one brings the tree down low, decays it, and makes new life from old. The tree is eternal, the 3 are eternal.
The Triad. All right.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. I was just excited to say it since we were doing this episode.
Fair enough. Shit, I would have let you open with it.
Yeah, that's why I interrupted you. You got mad, but here we are. It was good.
So they go get us started with the Wild. Now the Wild is where creation begins. It's pure change, and not so much random chaos is like elemental transmutation. It constantly swirls and changes. Not only is the Wild alive with possibility, but it is possibility. It has every form and no form all at once, and because of that, is the most alien, like to us. And is the least personified of the Triad. You'll hear as we go that the Triad is often, it'll be given different aspects of it will be given physical forms. It's not so much with the Wild. It's this unfathomable force, and while it's often confused with Gaia, the Wild is not Gaia. It's not your friend.
Oh, definitely not your friend.
It's the spark of life, and life itself. It's the potential of all things, and if it should fall, everything will be lost. Now, after the Wild comes the Weaver. And, Danny, do you want to tell us about the Weaver?
The Weaver is kind of what gives everything the Wild creates. It gives that all structure. It names it. It gives it purpose.
Like where the Wild is creating potential, creating life, creating just, for lack of a better word, stuff. A lot of that is formless possibility. The Weaver is what actually gives it its shape. what actually takes the raw stuff the wild creates and makes it into something, be it a rock, a plane, a car, or a person.
Like the mountain stays because of the weaver. It doesn't like just crumble and form something new.
Absolutely.
The mountain stays what it is and is called what it is because of the weaver.
And of course, we talk about personification. Weaver is often viewed is the great spider.
Mm-hmm.
She forms the pattern webs and was responsible for severing the physical world from the spiritual. But that is a different topic and a different day.
Yeah, there's a lot more complexity to that.
Which is yeah.
The weaver isn't while it sounds like it's good that the mountain is stable because of the weaver is kind of out of control in the settings that we play. Or is that too in depth?
No, I don't think so.
Not yet.
Yeah, it is a little out of control. Cities are there or cities have a lot of the weaver in them.
Well, a fundamental part of the game, we need to talk about the worm next, but, a fundamental part there is the fact that the weaver has gone mad.
Right. So maybe we just say why the worm is and who the worm is before we get into that part.
I would agree. And so, Em, we'll hand you the worm, which is a sentence all by itself.
So, the worm originally was just to take old life and break it down so that it can be reformed again. But something happened, and it's gone a little insane, and it's now only destruction and decay and taint, kind of like the big bad.
Depending on, sure.
No, that's flat out back of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where originally it was, destruction, entropy, decay. Because of it going through this change, it's now rot, corruption, and just, perversion of, purpose.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Once balance and harmony, but now trapped in the weaver's webs.
Mm-hmm.
It went mad. Fractured into these different personalities known as the triadic worm. And so, no longer that force of balance and harmony. It does it. It spawns decay and corruption. It's not doing its job naturally now because it can't, so it chooses to destroy all within. And it wants to destroy everything so that it can be freed.
Right. But all it can destroy is everything within its reach, but it only has so much reach because of being trapped within Weaver's webs.
Well, that reach is still pretty vast. It's not a physical reach.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to go about it more roundabout ways now.
And the worm itself, these are all larger concepts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And those banes that you'll hear so much about as you start playing are born of the worm. They're spirits of the worm. So they're sent out to help spread its corruption and decay.
The worm itself has developed different personalities over its time in being captured. These are known as the triadic worm, the eater of souls, the beast of war, the defile worm. And even then, and we're not going to get into these right now, but even then there are further heads of the Hydra, further personalities that allegedly formed poking through the little pieces, the little pieces of the skin that are pushed against the web have formed little heads on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all working against each other, or rather all have their own agendas. And it's largely that reason that the worm hasn't won already.
It makes a lot of sense that way.
I believe it's described as all the heads of the Hydra are blind, so they're constantly attacking each other as much as everything else.
Just the thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not fighting with one hand behind its back. No, it's fighting with one hand actively working to stab itself as it's trying to get at everybody else.
Imagine being stuck in a hammock for a few eons.
And still being there.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So weird. The Triad itself being balance. And because of Weaver being so mad at Worm and first thing it trying to capture Wild, but that ain't gonna fucking happen, so it captures Worm instead, and now Worm's pissed because it's trapped and it's pissed, so it's corrupting rather than what it should be doing, the Triat, and everything is out of balance, which is kind of where we come in as Garou.
Yes.
Trying to bring back balance.
I mean, ultimately, that is the goal.
I will say with Danny mentioning everything being out of balance, and this is kind of where, we are now and why everything is so kind of horrible. It is worth remembering that it's not just because the worm wants to destroy everything we're, having to deal with this. If any one of the Triad was more powerful than the others, it would be bad in its own flavor of bad. We're just dealing with the worm because it's currently the most powerful one right now and the one with the most influence.
No, true. All three need to exist.
Yes.
And as Danny mentioned, that is where the Garou come in. They are Gaia's fangs, their claws, and we talked about that last time. The Wild is to be defended because the Wild is the weakest. Right? The Weaver is a problem because of the overindulgence of order and technology. And obviously the Worm, who has gone completely mad, is really the main threat.
Yeah.
Which, there you go. And again, it's about preserving and saving Gaia. Which is when we spin to fuck is Gaia? This isn't a hard question.
No, it's weird when it's asked in that context. Because Gaia is all things. Gaia is Earth. And everything...
Gaia is where we live.
Yes.
Em, you've been trying to sneak in here.
You asked what is Gaia, and I said Earth. And you asked again, I said Earth. I was just saying the word Earth because that's what Gaia is.
No, exactly.
Earth.
Gaia is the Earth.
The Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. The forces, the Triad, the Worm, the Weaver, and the Wild, exert their influence on Gaia.
It's worth noting here. Gaia, the sun, the moon, who are known as Helios and Luna, respectively. Mm-hmm. They are what's known as Celestines. This is a class of spirit. But there are schools of thought that say that Gaia is above the Triad. If you're reading a core book, it's going to tell you that.
I remember different editions saying different interpretations.
Right. And I'm not going to speak unilaterally here, but I will say I reject that premise. Because number one, Gaia 2 is most known directly as a Celestine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Although it was allegedly above the Triad, which is above Celestines. But moreover, if Gaia created the raw force of creation, order, and destruction, the things that make the universe exist, then none of this should be a problem.
Yeah, if she is above them, why is it killing her?
Right. Certainly she could go, Worm, you're fired. Here's new Worm. Weaver, you're fired. Here's new Weaver. Mm-hmm. Everything's cool.
Grab...
Yep. Bring back
be the mom, grab the sandal, and be like, I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it.
Exactly. Gaia shouldn't need the Garou if she is above just creation itself. Moreover, why would the Earth be so fucking better than the sun? Or like Mars? Or I understand we have life, but maybe other places did too. In fact, there was Rorg.
Yep.
And this is higher level here. But there's a spirit.
Rorg.
Yep, there's a spirit of an asteroid belt known as Rorg. That's the incarna of it. And that asteroid belt used to be a planet that had life on it.
Right.
And that's not above the Triad.
And now he's just so sad.
He's
mad.
awesome.
Oh,
Right?
he's so great.
Just throws rocks at you.
Yeah, he's like just this giant space Hulk in the middle of the cosmos who you will get mad and lunk an asteroid at you for pissing him off. Super cool.
But
How's that for
just like
101?
Gaia, he's one of the Celestine.
Sad for one.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it is that level of like, it's up for debate. Like, where does that power scaling actually, like, where does Gaia land on that spectrum? Because, if you're following just raw logic and with, like, the themes of everything, yeah, she should be under the Triat if she can't do anything about it other than, like, creating other creatures who are under her to go do it.
I think it's important to talk about, too, not only discussing that order, but the fact that in Werewolf the Apocalypse, as you get more into this game and you hear things and you read things in the book, you have to understand that the Garou Nation is an oral tradition. They don't...
we don't keep history books.
Exactly. You're not going to go to the library in the World of Darkness and grab, Life History of the Garou Volume 1. That's not going to happen. So everything has been passed down through the ages. So there's a level of unreliable narrator. Also, remember that for the Garou, Gaia is essentially God. Right? She's the top of the religion. Not the Triat, even though they worship, they are Gaia's children. So Gaia
the Garou are born of the earth, therefore her children.
Right. So she's top of the spiritual food chain for them.
Yes.
So of course they would view Gaia above the forces that do the actual work.
Yeah. So it's more of Gaia is dying because the Triad is losing the balance, so Gaia sends her children to fix the balance to bring back life to Gaia. That's a weird way of putting it, but I hope you followed.
I think you were all right. Well, my point is that it's natural for them to elevate Gaia's status.
Yes. On a personal level.
So you're going to read that kind of stuff. And all through, as you go through the books, you're going to read things like that are taken for the perspective of the Garou. And it's important when you play these games, not just Werewolf, but any kind of...
World of Darkness.
Any kind of a role-playing game. That you immerse yourself in the world that you're in. That's the point, right? Is that escapism to join that world and be a part of that. So sometimes there's a disconnect. Especially in the world of darkness, because it mirrors our own world. So it's easy to keep your human hat on and look at it through the human lens.
Right.
And that's kind of a mistake.
Yes. We did try not to go too much into religion. Yeah, the religions exist, but the ultimate is Gaia is above all. The other religions exist for the humans to keep them in the dark of the rest.
Oh, it's also just like, part of the reason why the Garou probably are so much of zealots is, in theory, they could go give their god a high five.
Yes, that's true.
It's not recommended.
No.
If your ST lets you go give Gaia a high five, something's wrong.
I mean, that's exactly true.
And I mean, there are religions that do, worship Gaia themselves within the human society, but it's just not quite the same as the Garou do.
True, but I want to...
Yeah.
But with the Triat, though, the different tribes also kind of see it slightly differently. Some see, the worm as pure evil, while others, acknowledge that it's just insane.
It's true. Each tribe does have a different company line and a bit of a different history and a way of looking at things.
And that's because of that oral tradition you mentioned.
Absolutely. And so, and again, I bring that up because you're going to read things through the course of these books if you start to do your own research. You're going to read a tribe book and it's going to say, well, this tribe is this, this, and that. Well, that's what that guy thinks.
Yes. And you also might see different names for the Triad as well. Like the Utina, I know they have the three grandfathers: Grandfather Smoke, Grandfather Spider, and Grandfather Serpent. It is the same thing as the Wild, the Weaver, and the Worm.
Not to be confused with Snoke.
Yes, correct.
That's a Star Wars joke.
I know. So I was like...
I made a Star War, everybody.
A Star Wars.
It's a Star Wars sequel trilogy joke.
That makes it even more of a miracle that I did it.
A little bit.
Sorry. I just felt it was, it's important and also interesting, right? That you, like, even going through the books, there's the stuff that you can believe in terms of this is a game mechanic.
Yeah.
And the stuff you read that you are being told by someone.
Right.
And that's someone's opinion that you're going to read being an experience and maybe take as gospel, and maybe you shouldn't.
It's one of those levels of, like, unlike some game systems where, like, their lore is flatly spelled out for you, like, this god does X, Y, and Z, this is why they do it, this is how they came about. The World of Darkness in general, especially Werewolf dealing with the spiritualism aspect, requires quite a bit of critical thinking.
True. There's a lot of reading between the lines that I guess isn't strictly necessary, but probably should be done.
I was going to say should be necessary, though.
It'll make for a more fun experience.
Not everybody has to have the same opinion.
Also
and that's
true.
Yeah, that's
And
kind
that
of
makes
the
it
point.
fun.
Yeah.
And that's why we have philodoxes.
Philodoxi?
Philodoxy?
Is it just Philodox?
Feel like so.
Phil, tell us about the ducks.
If he doesn't respond with like a duck picture or something on the day of, I'll be disappointed.
Oh boy. No, but I do think that, bring that up's important. Because, because again, like CJ brings up, you're used to kind of being cut and dry and you being told this, and so this is the thing because you were told it.
Right. But you're almost getting 13 different versions of that.
But if you're only reading the one thing, I don't know, right? Because I'm not super well versed in other games.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel strongly that if you're going to read the D&D source book about whatever, and Philip the Wise, because that's a real guy, don't fucking question me, is narrating it and telling you the Hydra does this, then the Hydra does this. And Werewolf runs through the forest can say, well, the Silver Fangs do this. And it will never dawn on you that runs through the forest might be an idiot or might be wrong.
Or both.
Or might be lying.
Try this.
Or,
yeah. And all of those things could be true. And they're never going to tell you.
Right.
But you're going to read that one character's opinion and then go read another thing, and it will not match at all because that was one character's opinion kind of being served up as fact.
Yeah. It's fact for him. But, like you just said, he could be an idiot. Or he could just be lying.
Or just wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's interesting because that's a thing that does happen through the course of the lore, especially through these tribe books.
Oh, yeah.
I think something in the Shadow Lord tribe book, and we're going to swoop it on back, right? But the Shadow Lord tribe book mentions flat out that you're going to be lied to at times during this book. Yeah.
I think it's the first spoken to, like this first line spoken to the POV character is take everything we say with a grain of salt.
I believe that.
I appreciate that. It gives room for these kind of conversations about the Gaia versus the Triat. Where there isn't a canonical, I guess the latest version says it's this way, but there's room to doubt that. And there's logic you can present to doubt that. And you can have that conversation without there being a quote wrong answer. And that's pretty great.
Yeah, this is where you get that fun little debate of, is it Gaia, Triat, Celestines, or is it Triat, Celestines plus Gaia? Like, which order is that in? And it can lead to some fun little discussions.
And of course, we'll totally do a Spirit 101, which is...
Yes.
Because why not? We only did like 3 Thurge episodes and a Practical Thurge series that is currently running.
Yep.
I love talking spirits, though.
I was going to say, spirits kind of happens to be some of the biggest stuff.
I'd love to see all the love for the Thurges on the Discord since we've started that series.
It is nice. I think more people are discovering the Auspice, looking at it from a new light because of it, and that's great.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yes, as a Crescent Mid myself, I appreciate it.
Not only you are Crescent fresh as well.
Is that because I made bread?
No. I said crescent, not croissant.
What's the difference?
You didn't surrender your bread.
Mostly the
You don't have to pronounce it like we're French.
You absolutely do.
You don't, though.
It's not a crescent roll. It's a croissant. Croissant. You don't go, I want a crescent. Look what the fuck you're talking about. See? It doesn't work. Speaking of crescents, though, that is a phase of the moon.
And the phases of the moon do special things for the Garou.
Yeah, the phase of the moon that shines in the sky when a Garou is born is known as their auspice. Mm-hmm. And what this is it is sort of a gift from, as we call her, crazy Aunt Luna, Gaia's sister. By the way, if Gaia is above the Triat, would you imagine the fuck in that household?
No.
Well, your older sister is above all of creation itself, so...
Don't want to imagine.
What's your claim to fame? What, Neil Armstrong was on you once? That ain't hard to do.
Gross.
Oh, God, I'm imagining the high spiritual fucking family reunion at this point.
Right?
Oh, goodness.
Gaia's trying to manage everything as she's just slowly dying from the stress as the worm is just throwing shit left, right, and center. The Weaver's rearranging everything on the food table, and the Wildie is just running around lighting shit on fire and throwing stuff everywhere. While you just have Luna, the drunk wine aunt, probably yelling about politics at this point.
It's always about Gaia. Ugh, she's such a bitch.
But yes, the phase of the moon you're born under determines your, I guess you could say, abilities or roles within the Garou society.
And if we were to take this down to a D&D kind of thing, it's essentially your job. It's your job class.
Job class.
Yeah, the auspice dictates your role, and what that means is how you will be judged. It doesn't necessarily mean
how you act.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's your jam. People confuse that a lot.
Yeah, you don't have to be good at it.
Of you,
right? Both of you is right.
Mm-hmm.
I've played in a rune before that was not a good rune.
I played one that was more of a ragabash. Whenever people ask how he behaves,
and that can make some really good character archetypes for a different thing, which is not relevant right now. But I wrote that character who wanted nothing more in his life than to be a musician. Unfortunately, he was also an Ahram, born under the full moon. We need to set these roles up before we just start casually talking this.
Yeah, we should.
That's going to be the very next thing. But his role was that of the field general. So that sucks to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing he is best at and loves the most doesn't mean shit to the people around him. Yeah, it's a great sculpture. You're not here to sculpt. However, that's not your job. So yes, the auspices. Again, each based on when the 5 phases of the moon. And Em, how about you start us off wherever you want?
Well, I would like to start with the crescent moon.
Okay. Because you're crescent fresh?
Yes. Crescent fresh. But yes, the crescent moon, these are our Thurges. So they're born under the crescent moon, and they are essentially the Garou that commune with the spirits. They are kind of like the in-between of the rest of the Garou society and the spirits. And they kind of make those relationships and communicate between the two.
Absolutely. Shaman and spiritual leaders.
They're like druids almost, if you really wanted to go. Or if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you haven't, what's fucking wrong with you?
Truth.
But yeah, his whole bridge between the spirit world.
That is kind of the Thurge, yeah.
Yep. I think the Avatar as a Thurge is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's only one, though. One Thurge in a generation in that fucking world. It's crazy. But that is, I think, the best example. Because, in that world, spirit shit's only his business. So, boom. Fucking farm it out, man. So CJ next moon phase. Let's do this in order now, which is a test for you guys.
That would be the Philodox, the judges and lawkeepers of the nation.
And that would
There is
be
a whole list of rules.
They're born under the half moon.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Started somewhere in the middle, and then we'll go forward. Got it.
Yeah, they're born under the half moon. There is a whole list of rules that are like the Garou 10 Commandments. This is their job, is to interpret those and hold people to them. You know, if you're the Philodox and you're catching two Garou going at it, breaking rule 1, you're usually going to be looked at as the one to, hey, how's this going to be handled? What kind of punishments, if any, are going to be here? Or are we going to deal with this right now? There's a perfect example of that in the actual play. Of kind of what the rest of the nation usually expects from their Philodoxes.
That's funny. And I would agree that, I'd say that as much as the Thurge is the spiritual leader, holding the spiritual side of the Garou nation together in Garou society, it is the Philodox who helps hold the more practical aspects together by keeping those laws in mind and holding that,
Yes.
They're the, ethical/moral leaders of the nation.
I like to think of them as the wise men of society. Like the grandma and grandpa that you go to for advice, for lack of a better term.
I now choose to think of them as Judge Judy, specifically.
Oh, yes.
Just her at different points of her career.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a tribunal of just her.
Oh, man.
From last week, and then 10 years ago, and then 5 years ago, and just out of college, I guess. I don't know.
Did you wreck the car? Okay, get out.
Wait a minute. You let him finish. I don't know. Was that a good impression?
Close enough.
I kind of got to say, I would love to see a sept with a couple Judge Judy Philodoxes. Like their Council of Justice.
Oh my God, Council of Judy.
Actually, at that point, maybe not just Judge Judy. We just go for a bunch of the great TV judges. Like you have Wapner,
Yep.
Judge Judy, Judge Mills Lane, because that was for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then
Judge Joe Brown.
Okay. And then for a little reference to something else, Judge Reinhold. That would be the...
Oh, man.
Maybe even a Judge Murray.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know him.
You are not the father.
Oh, okay.
Judge Maury.
Okay.
Maury.
Judge Maury.
Maury Povich?
Yeah,
He wasn't a judge, but okay.
I mean, neither was Judge Reinhold, but that's the joke.
I mean, he was kind of judging.
Well,
he was leading a discussion, helping people through their issues in his way.
Well, at that point, and I feel like we're keeping this shit now. Let's have Jerry Springer do it, too. Just for flavor.
yeah, but see,
These are our Philodoxes.
I'm now picturing a issue with the Metis Cub and getting that announcement of, you are not the father. From one of the Philodoxes.
with Maury and with Springer, it wasn't he was judging it. He was leading others to judge the way he wanted them to.
You know what? We're adding Judge Jesse Raphael as well.
Oh, boy.
These are the Philodoxes.
We went from a really great example to so off the rails.
Yeah, well,
That's fine.
that's our show.
And that's the fun thing about role-playing games.
So, Danny...
Fun part about the show.
Right.
That too.
What comes next?
Well, next would be the Gibbous Moon. Garou born under the Gibbous Moon are the Galliards. They are the storytellers and lore keepers of the Garou nation. The history holders. The ones to pass down that oral tradition.
The Galliards, if your pack goes out and does something marvelous and fantastic, they're the ones that are going to come back and tell that story so that everybody and the spirits know about it.
it would probably be best equated to a bard. And while you're rolling your eyes and being annoyed by that, let me stop you. Because as we brought up earlier, see, it's all relevant, look out for us. So it's just some chess going on, you didn't know. Is the Garou society is an oral society.
Right.
So in order for you, as a Garou in the nation, to get credit, to get the clout, the renown, and essentially from an out of to level up, you need to tell the stories of your adventures.
Right.
The pack has a nation-sponsored hype man. It's his job.
Yep. The Galliard is there to tell your stories, to help you rank up. He's also there to tell stories of all the heroes past, be they from abject lessons, things to learn from, be they just stuff to pump you up for the battle to come, be they warnings of threats in the distance that other people, have dealt with. Stories of long lost items. We'll say magical items just for, just to,
Simplicity's sake.
Yeah. There's a lot more importance to being a Galliard than the weirdo following the group around singing with a lute. That part doesn't happen. I promise.
Yeah.
I just know there's that stigma, and I wanted to save people immediately.
Yeah. There's always going to be the
That's not
stigma.
what they do.
Where we've already covered like the spiritual and like moral leaders. You're kind of in charge of like your pack's morale usually. You need to be able to read that room and be able to pump them up when they need it or get them to pump the brakes.
And I would say this isn't a leap. They are in charge of the past, the history. They are the nation's memory.
Yeah, well, like I said, lore keepers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it, though. I love the way you put it. They're the ones who are passing down the oral tradition.
They're the ones that get to put their spin on things and be an unreliable narrator.
Sometimes, yep.
Way to bring that
they're
back.
they're the storytellers of the nation, whether they're telling real stories or just telling a story.
Well, and certainly they believe, they're telling what they were told, how they heard it, because it is aggressively uncool to just make shit up.
Right.
That's a pretty severe party foul in a warrior society. So let's assume that the trouble for that is not like a $50 fine and a strict talking to. Let's just assume.
If you talk about how, one of your pack mates managed to, sucker punch Gogol Fangs first and get away with it, if anybody ever actually hears this and doesn't believe you, and it makes its way to somebody who knows Gogol, if not himself,
might prevent a lot.
Probably both paying for it.
Callback we won't explain. So next on the docket, are the Ahram, and this is the full moon. The Ahram are the field generals of the nation. We talk about the spiritual leaders, we talk about the societal leaders, we talk about the past. Well, the Ahram are, I would say the muscle, but that does them a disservice. This is a warrior class of a warrior race.
Right.
It is their job to be the ones who craft the strategies, to inspire the troops and to lead the charge into battle. They are allegedly the toughest. They have the most rage. They are counted on to lead the armies into battle. Predominantly.
And again, being already a warrior class, they're looked up to hard. Something's got to happen. They're the ones everyone's waiting for to make the decision.
They're also the ones that a lot is expected of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you need to be the warrior's warrior.
And it would be easy. We say the word warrior a lot here. Sorry.
They're fearless.
Should be.
I mean, one would hope. Or one would aspire to be, I think, is probably more accurate.
There you go.
Yeah, aspire to be fearless. They're like good. They should be good tacticians. They have good plans to assault the enemy.
No, absolutely. I think we use the word warrior. We've used the word warrior a lot. And so it would be easy to equate the Ahraun to a warrior, but all Garou are warriors. That's the thing. Like, or if you want to use a barbarian class. No, I don't know my classes super well. CJ will have to fix this. CJ, should I be saying warrior or barbarian?
You should be saying barbarian for like the Garou, but the Ahraun is like your barbarian who took a couple levels of fighter.
There you go.
You're specialized in dealing death.
I like that, yeah.
See, thank you, Siege. You did it.
The most combat-oriented of the Auspices.
But I mean, that's the thing, is all Garou
are, yes, they're all combat-oriented, but the most combat-oriented.
And again, is brought up by everyone here. The most is expected of them. Because it's one thing to snarl a lot and roar the loudest and punch the hardest. That's all well and good. But you are planning the battle.
Right.
And we expect you to plan the battle. And when you take 20 Garou out into a field to do a thing, and only 10 come back...
That's on you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely on the Ahraun because of the mistakes he made to not bring back his entire platoon. Right. Unless that was the battle plan, which...
Battle plan is to half-ass it?
Or, being able to keep people in line for it.
Look to your left, look to your right. Half of you's fucked. Looking at you, Dave. You bitch.
It's the reason why some of you have red shirts.
So they can't see you bleed.
Sarge, why is there a target on my head? You'll figure it out. Just stick to the plan.
Calm in the face of danger. Ready to go.
Which is also a feat because, again, the Ahraun, being full moon, have the most rage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
This isn't something we hit on so much right now, but yeah, as you go up the scale in the moon cycle, rage just builds, and the Ahraun is the peak of it.
And so if the Ahraun were maybe not the muscle, but the will of the nation.
Okay. Like the tip of the spear, even.
Certainly, but that's not a body part.
Either is a will.
Depends. There are many people named Will.
Okay.
Look, you got me, but it still breaks the theming.
Okay, okay, all right, I got you.
Touche, you prick.
And also, back at you. Got it.
All right. The spiritual leader, the social leader, Now, I would argue perhaps the soul of the nation.
Okay.
We could consider that this next auspice. And it would be back to M. It can be back to M.
Yeah, I can take it if you want me to.
Go for it.
I guess, yeah.
I was going to do a thing, but I'm back. You go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I chose to abort.
Okay. So the next one would be the new moon or the no moon, depending on what semantics you would like to use. And those are the Ragabash. They're commonly called the questioners of the ways. And that's kind of like how I like to think of them. They're kind of thinking out of the box. They're light on their feet. Sometimes they make really good, they're good at stealth. They're good at tricking. They're clever.
No.
They're the cleverest of the classes, or the auspices, I would have to say.
She can't see this.
Yeah, she can't.
I know.
Porter has his hand raised and has a question for you.
Thank you, Danny.
Yes, Porter. Go ahead.
When you say that they're the best at tricks, do you mean being deceptive, or do you mean like on the corner? They're the best at tricking.
Did I say that they're the best at tricks?
You said trickery, but
I didn't hear trickery.
I meant lying.
Okay. I just wanted to. So they're not just a bunch of whores.
Oh yeah, like with the stealth, the lying. No, they're not a bunch of whores.
I heard tricks and I heard lying, and so I just.
I mean, they could be. Who knows?
See,
they're kind of like the rogues.
Or the tricksters who make jokes like I just did. He was an example.
Or if you don't want to lean too much in the trickery and lying part, you could always play them more of like your ranger, your scout, your, the person who goes on ahead to make sure the way is clear, or to, warn everybody of what's up ahead.
And really both of those are apt, both the ranger and the rogue. The trickster is also, like, all parts of those it's all part of the job of the Ragabash.
It's important too.
It is. As Emily, as you brought up questioner of the ways, they're the ones who look at, they often play the contrarian. And they look at the rules set up that the Philodox enforce, and they question the necessity. They question the practicality.
Does that rule actually suit this situation like it's intended, or do we need to think about it in a different light?
Absolutely.
I think that's the most important part, and the part that gets often forgotten about is the questioner, the contrarian.
The other aspect about them is, where they're here to question, like, the rulings from the Philodoxes, the traditions. They also need to be willing to call bullshit on any story they hear from a Galliard.
Absolutely.
Because, once again, this is an oral tradition. Everybody has their own spin. Ragabash is the one who's meant to remind you of, like, yeah, no, this could be absolute horseshit.
They're also, one would expect a Ragabash to be the one who looks at that battle map all planned out that the Outround's been working on and points out that little flaw. And then what about that part where they can just slip through? What about?
Yeah, you forgot about the flank there, dude.
Right?
Like, if this was me, I would just go here and stab you in the back.
Again, they're also known as tricksters to sometimes play jokes or to mock those who maybe have taken themselves too seriously or have forgotten.
Sitting too high on their horse.
There you go.
Yeah, the good one too.
Knock
Not
'em
literally.
off. Yes, figuratively.
Yes.
Of course. Maybe literally.
Depending
Back
on
in the Wild West, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly
Yes.
then.
Yeah, they can be the ones to show, like, hey, remember, we're in this fight in this place and this world sucks, but remember, there's still some good here. They can be the ones to help show that forward.
We're also in this together. It's not all about you.
Absolutely. And those, those together are the 5 auspices. As a player in this game, as a member of the Garou Nation, you are one of those. And what that means practically, not only is how you are judged, your character is judged, the job that they have, but each one has their own series of gifts, which would be equivalent to skills, magic spells, if you will. It's not magic, but again, back of the box.
Similar to.
Yep. This is a challenging series.
Yeah, because we know the basics. It's how much of the basics do we not tell you compared to more advanced stuff that we already want to be talking about?
Yeah.
It's keeping us out of the weeds. It's keeping us out of the weeds and out of the deep lore.
I like it.
It's not easy.
It's a fun challenge.
It's definitely that. Like, I'm not complaining so much as, like, it is. It's hard to not. Mm-hmm. Like, we're putting on a show here,
right?
And we want it to, obviously we want to be entertaining. We want to help people, and getting that balance for these new players,
right,
is a little, because we can go into fucking theory.
We
can go into the deep end of shit. We can talk about waning and waxing auspices. We can talk about breaking molds and we could talk about planetary incarna. I don't want to talk about planetary incarna.
No,
ever again.
Nope, we're not doing it.
But
I mean, we might
could
have
do
to,
it.
But
they exist.
You could just start throwing names and pronouns at you that you have no fucking idea what they mean.
Right, but we don't want to lose people here.
Right.
And
yep.
If you're into astrology, though, you can just think about the words waning and waxing, and that's what that is.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is we have an auspice series. So if something sounds good, hopefully you can roll over and check out that corresponding episode.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We have a couple of them, actually.
But, we want to give you the non-intimidating basics version. And I mean, that's also why we handled the Triat and the Auspices today, because I don't think we could fill a show just doing the basics of anything.
Right, and the basics are... Because once we do the basics, then we have to get into the more advanced stuff. And then the novice. And then the... Oh, man, there's so much.
I feel like I want to.
I know, and we do. We like to. It's fun to talk about. But when we're looking at the new player... And
that's not what this show's
about.
It's about you brand new guys. And hopefully you heard something there that grabs you. You're starting to see the world as we're building. And when we didn't build it.
Oh, yeah. This is just dangling all those little shiny things in front of you, waiting for you to grab one and just go right down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And as you begin to make your first character, maybe as we read through and talked about each of these auspices, one stood out to you, choose it. If it stood out to you, choose it. That's how I chose mine. Somebody told me about what each of the auspices were about, and one caught my attention, and that's the one that I played first.
What was that?
The Thurge.
Good choice.
Yeah.
And I would
still my favorite.
It's the best.
I see the Thurge as the most difficult.
Yeah.
Because it requires...
Doesn't have to be, though.
No, it doesn't have to be. It just, in my own personal opinion, I see the Thurge as the most difficult to play because it requires the most homework to do. Because
see, and I have that opinion about the Philodox.
Again, we're personal opinions. No, not saying anyone here is wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look specifically to our new member, Larry, who, coincidentally, a very close... Yeah, hi, Larry. Very close friend of mine since we were young children. And he's getting into this game for the first time, and it's awesome. And welcome to it, man. Thank you. And we're trying to figure out what he is. And I'm looking, and I'm going to say you, sir, are probably a Philodox, and I'm still trying to figure out your tribe. But those are my opinions, and depending on
be
what
what you want, Larry.
Yes, obviously. It's
these are the episodes made for you, and people like you.
Yeah. I'm trying to help on that aspect. Again, he's brand new to this, so...
What do you mean, you people?
You people as in Danny people.
Look, there were 4 or 5 singers I just let go right on by.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know, it's fun. But...
it's passing up on some of those deeper cuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Playing nice today.
But again, we're helping. It's the brand new people. That's why we're keeping it so simple and back of the box and not trying to go too far into the depths here.
Well, no, I mean, that's why this series came about, right? Because we guys like Larry, because we know that Phil, our buddy Phil, has got a couple people that are brand new that are interested, and this is... I mean, hell, when you guys started...
Right.
I wish you had this show to listen to.
Yes. I do too. Because of... If I knew back then what I know now, how much different this game would have been.
Really?
I like the journey I went on being a brand new player and knowing so very little because it was a fun ride and it was learning as we were playing. But like I just see that so many things would have been different. I'm not sure how much different I would have played characters, but like it's just I wish I knew then what I know now. And it's been fun. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Doesn't it sound like he's retiring?
It does.
I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
And with that, I regret to inform you that I'm going to prison for reasons I choose not to speak about right now.
Has nothing to do with the basement.
Like I said, Larry should be a Philodox.
Oh boy. Wow.
Have we figured out what Danny is, or no?
I have known Danny a while, and I still don't know what
There's
Danny
a list
is.
of that.
I'm gonna say, if you're talking about auspices, I'm definitely not around. The rage gets the best of me. Yeah.
Everybody, we're talking about auspices.
I know. I'm saying I'd be not wrong. I would. Ooh, yeah. I can hold my cool, but I have a limit. And once that limit's hit, don't fucking look over. Don't look back either.
You can't see me, but I'm lightly patting on his back to make him feel better. Calm him down.
Yeah, I'm rage-filled.
But I think that about does it for now. You know, we could sit here and bullshit and confuse the issue some more, but that would be a little counterproductive. So, you know, I do want to say thank you all so much for listening. And, you know, remember that next month there'll be another episode of the Practical Thurge. And after that, we'll be back with the Garou 101. We're going to we're going to stick to that schedule.
Yeah. Once a month and then every other month.
Yeah, these will run out.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do that thing we have done on occasion where it's been months between.
Uh-huh.
So, again, thanks so much for listening. If you like what we do, you know, we'd love if you'd show us some support. You can, wherever you can give us a thumbs up, a good review, you know, be that on iTunes or, you know, at Spotify, or we're on Amazon now.
Yep.
Which I forgot about entirely until this weekend.
Yeah, Pandora, Podbean.
Yeah, if you can hear a podcast there, you can hear us there.
Yes.
And so, you know, if you like the show, positive reviews, 5 stars, thumbs up, shares, anything you can do to get the word out.
It's on YouTube.
Yes.
Come chat with me in the comments.
Yes.
Or come chat with us on Discord.
And the Discord you can get to through our website. It's on the forums of our website, which is rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com.
Hey.
Excellent. Yeah, you can find the link in the news and announcement section of our forums. We do that as a little extra verification.
Yep.
And there's some neat stuff on those forums, but the store, as mentioned earlier, is there.
Yeah.
You enjoy that. But yeah, we got a couple neat things from websites past.
Yeah, there's some cool shit on there, dude.
Yeah, our buddy Ghostpaw did a few book reviews. He kind of got busy and had to stop that. But we pulled some stuff off the old Nocturnus.net, which if you know what that is, hey, you're probably happy to hear that. And if you're not, there's some pretty neat resources there.
The news ticker to the lead up of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there's a lovely little time capsule.
So crazy to see.
Beyond that, if you so choose, you could always become a backer over on our Ko-Fi. That's ko-fi.com/Rage Across the Internet. Links on our website, like right there in the front. And you could become a backer, one of our several tiers. We have what we think is some neat rewards for folks.
We have movie nights. We have game team. We have the postmortem series. And we have the NPC of the month.
That's right. You know, different tiers for you to join if you are in a position and think we deserve it. If not, we completely understand. But, I don't know. CJ, I think those rewards are pretty solid.
Yeah, I really enjoy movie night and game night.
And these NPCs are really fucking good to use.
Being able to hang out in any of the voice chats whenever I feel like it.
Postmortem
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Extra bonus episode every month.
Well, not only that, but that's dissecting games that I have run in the past. The first few Chronicles, which actually encompasses all of the games that Danny has played ever.
Right.
Up until the Let's Play.
Yes.
Are on there. Like, you can buy the bundles of the past episodes. And so now we're doing stuff that they haven't. But what we do is we go through the stories itself. We go down the scripts. We dissect how things have gone down, how things happened. You know, some of the wrenches thrown in the works, some of the lessons you learn through storytelling and the mistakes you make.
I was going to say that the lessons learned is a big deal because sometimes the decisions weren't always the smartest. So you kind of dissect them and figure out why the decisions were made the way they were.
Oh, you learn to do better through those mistakes.
That too.
You get some insight as to certain levels of the creative process. Hopefully they're useful as hell. I know they are enjoyed.
They are very well enjoyed, at least by all the accounts that we've heard.
That's right. But enough of all that. Anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. And even you listening and continuing to listen is a big deal, and it means a lot to us.
Yes, thank you, all of you.
That said, I think it's about that time. So on behalf of everyone here at Garou's Isle,
Nice bring back.
Gilligan Tyson, Professor M, and no, Mr. and Mrs. M, and Professor CJ. We want to thank you for listening. We want to say take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep your claws sharp, your head in a swivel. We'll see you next time. I hope the neighbor's bird is big enough for you, you creep.